Welcome to Game Week with the Compas. It's NFL Week 1, and we're back for Gilberto's hour. I don't know what to call it, but you know what? It's not just all about me. Dan and Dave like to say that I like to keep it about myself. Fernando somewhat agrees, maybe even Victor to an extent, but I'm all about the Compas here. So we're going to have a new show here where I'm tweaking it. It's not all about me, but we're going to break down every game of the NFL schedule and obviously Week 1. And we thought, let's try something where we make a lot of picks and also give you some good information and then have you ready for, let's say you're going to Vegas for a good weekend and you want to make some game picks. Well, this is the right show for you. But we're also trying to keep in mind the audio listeners. I feel like the audio people get a little left behind here. We have a lot of content on the YouTube channel, a lot of visual stuff, but maybe this could be a show where we have a little more for the the podcast, for the drive, for the rush hour. By the way, I rewatched Rush Hour, still very funny. Side note right there. But yeah, we I want to say I do enjoy. We all enjoy is the live shows on Compas on the Beat, getting the comments, the engagement. So I'm gonna miss that part. But we want to try something different here to do more for the audio, more of like a laid back vibe, more information, just having you ready for the week ahead. So yeah, that's gaming with the Compas. We're still maybe workshopping with the name, but we'll figure it out. And I'll stop rambling here. But this is a game to look ahead. That was one of the names for the show 2 years ago, and then last year was Gilberto's Hour. But yeah, so all the games will be right here. We're gonna break them down with in sections. Headline game of the week, a little bit similar to last year. We have 3 big time games. We have a couple quick hitters, and obviously a lot of the best bets. And speaking of bets, that guy Victor, man, he's been kicking my ass the last couple of years for best bets, and I think he's going to join us. Let's hear that voice check, voice of God. Victor, are you there?
I'm here. I'm ready to go. It's been a long off season. I'm ready to go, Gilbert.
Yeah, Vic, we're going to have you on in a bit, but for right now, like, does my house look legit, or can you tell it's a
Yeah,
virtual background?
it's you come in and out, so that's very good. You can kind of see it on the edge when you move. Maybe you should just stay
Yeah.
still, and maybe everybody can buy that background.
Yeah, I've fooled a couple people, not too many. Again, I'm talking about doing a show for the audio people, and I'm talking about my virtual background that you got to see on the YouTube channel. And I need to work on my background. I want to say I moved like 3 months ago, and as you can
Yep.
remember, Victor, the last time I moved, it took me maybe 3 or 4 months to get my backdrop, my background going. We'll see. I just had a baby, or my fiance did, and we haven't had much time here in this household. But for now, I've been doing this fake background here, which looks pretty cool in this picture here. A lot of camera time for me here. Compas on the Beat. Like I do need one of these cool Compas on the Beat, like neon lights. A lot of podcast people have that. I keep moving a lot too, by the way, for the virtual background. But I need to have like the giant neon Compas on the Beat logo somewhere in the studio. Would that be too much, Vic?
No, I think that you got to take your time with it, man. Like once you have it figured out, I know it took me a while to get it to where, and I'm still working on mine. So I'm with you. Whenever you're ready to, have it ready to go, I'm sure it's gonna look great. But yeah, take your time
Yeah.
with it.
But one day I'm gonna have that dream house, like where that living room is gonna be a real thing. If you're on audio, there's a piano here. There's a lot of wood stuff here, very 1980s. Like somebody who had money back in the day. They like that's like the look is everything's wood. And I feel like I don't know. I'm going off topic, but like in the 2010s, for some reason, we all gravitated towards like gray. Like everything was like super dark, and now it's very colorful. Where you have the
Yeah.
neon lights, like the gamer lights, like the purple lights and stuff like that. So we're always shifting here. But eventually, I'm gonna have my dream, living room, my dream background, and maybe I could do that with getting some picks here. And I'm rambling. I'm getting to a
There
point
we
here.
go.
There's so many games here to break down in week 1. This is my favorite time of year, besides playoffs, because there's so many upsets, there's so many things that you didn't expect, so many things you've been wasting your time talking about on the offseason. Like, yeah, they won't be good on the offensive line. They won't be good against the run. They won't be good at stopping the pass. And what the hell do we know? So, week 1 shows are always hard to break down, but we try to give you as much information. That's why we're doing kind of a little bit of a laid back show here, where we're pausing, we're taking a moment. What are we really going to see here? What is information out there that tells us where to be on the right side here? So I'm going to have your help right now, Victor.
Yep.
But we're going to break down the headline games of the week. That's 3 games right there. And then we'll go to some quick hitters. And then we'll do some of our best bets, like I mentioned. And we're still trying to figure out the show here. But as the weeks progress in the NFL season, we're going to figure it out and give you the best show that we could give you here. So without further ado, Victor, get yourself on camera.
There we go. I'm back.
Yeah.
Now you can see me. For those listening on the audio, I did a little magic trick here, and now I'm on screen here. So we're ready to go. We got ourselves a banner here as well. So game week with the Compas, and then we're gonna start off, Gilbert, with, of course, the. I mean, how do you not start with this game? And our headline game of the week is
No.
Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Uh, the Bills are 1.5 point favorites. The over under here, Gilbert, is 51.5. Let's get kind of into a little bit of this. Spend a couple of minutes on this game. What do you see here? I know you just said there's not much we can take away. I guess the biggest takeaway is what we saw in the playoff game.
Yeah, honestly, this is one of the toughest games for me to break down without much knowledge. And maybe that's a little bit of a cop out, Vic, because we know these teams very well. We know that, they're very, very good teams. They played a very good playoff game or highly entertaining playoff game. And a lot of the narrative around these two teams is like, can they finally get over the hump? And like, part of me feels like it's not even the Chiefs hump. And for the Bills, they have to beat that team. I feel like just to get over the nightmares. But I feel like the Bills and the Ravens are just better teams than the Chiefs right now. And maybe I'm just hoping for a little bit of regression. They're still in the same tier, but I feel like these teams are maybe better just because they're just itching and maybe have more hunger and more desire. And that's where I kind of go, Vic. It's like the Ravens maybe could have won the whole damn thing if Mark Andrews caught the ball. Maybe Lamar Jackson doesn't throw some interceptions. Maybe they play faster. But to me, the Ravens have the better roster. They have the better players, and I'm so surprised that the Bills pulled it off. Like they felt like a juggernaut. So to me, I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, they're a year older. Maybe Derrick Henry is gonna be human after all. I really don't know, Vic. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Ravens here just to kind of go off that fight and the revenge factor. It is a Buffalo. That's tough. But talent wise, I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm gonna go Baltimore. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm with you. I feel like the Ravens, in terms of on paper, they have the best roster. Like, I know we like to kind of pick at one of the teams, each of the teams, and we're like, okay, so this is where they're weak at. And you look up and down this roster, and it's kind of hard to find any weaknesses with the Ravens. They should, this should be the year that they win the Super Bowl, Gilbert. Like, this is the year Lamar Jackson finally puts to bed all the criticism that he's gotten over the years about, the playoff games. And what's crazy is that three of his worst games as a pro have all happened in the playoffs. And he needs to change that narrative, and it starts with, I think, a win here against the Buffalo Bills. And kind of, giving the Bills their flowers. you know Last year was supposed to be kind of a transition year for them. And I think they surprised a lot of people. They knew that. I think most people had them winning that division. It was them or the Jets, as you remember, just because of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. And maybe the Dolphins would be in it. And now, like, everybody just thinks they're going to run away with this division. But I kind of want to see how this defense improves, and takes the next step under Sean McDermott. They've changed a lot, especially with their secondary. So, Matt Milano's back. Hopefully he can stay healthy the whole season. But I'm with you, Gilbert. I like
Okay.
the Ravens in this game as well. Give me the money line here for the Ravens. And I think I think the biggest question, though, Gilbert, is what do you do here with the over under? Do you think it's going to be a high scoring game?
Ah, man, I do because you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But I'll say this: the reason why I really like the Ravens is like one, I need to see Lamar Jackson do it in the playoffs. I get that. That's something that we can't just ignore. But they got better at their biggest like weakness spot, the secondary, like Malachi Starks and Jair Alexander, and maybe a year in progression for Nate Wiggins, the second year player was the first round pick. Kyle Hamilton just got paid. Like that secondary was a liability a year ago, and then they moved Kyle Hamilton. away from the box and more playing that free or center fielder, and he helped them out for the most part. You still got Marlon Humphrey. I don't want to forget about him, who's playing more inside nowadays. So this is a very good secondary, and the Bills don't have a lot of weapons, but they got Josh Allen who's able to spread the ball around. Maybe Keon Coleman steps up finally. Khalil Shakir stays healthy. Maybe Dalton Kincaid takes the next step. You still got James Cook who got paid. So I could definitely see the Bills putting up points, but it won't be that as easy as last year because of what the Ravens did in the secondary. But I will take the over. I think it could be an explosive game, Vic.
Yeah, I just this one's kind of hard for me just because, as you mentioned, like the Ravens have a really good defense. Zach or the defensive coordinator kind of figured it out halfway through the season, like you said, moving Kyle Hamilton, and then they kind of just took off after that. So he's going to be in his second year having his own, running his own defense there. So I'll go different here. I say this one is an under. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be hard for these teams to kind of move the ball, but I think just because they're so evenly matched that it's going to be a close game somewhere like in the like 20 to 17 kind of
Okay.
thing. But yeah. All right, Gilbert, let's move on to our second tier games to watch. We'll start off with the Friday night game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Chiefs are 3.5 point favorites. I didn't do the over under here. I'll change it right now, but they're at the Chargers. I'll let you kind of uh, break down this matchup here. Just kind of give us where you're at with this matchup.
Yeah, this one I've seen a mix of 3.5. I've seen some threes here. Yeah, more threes and 3.5. It goes up and down here for Chiefs, Chargers, and I guess if it's 3.5, I could take some the points here on the Chargers. If it's three, I won't go that far. I'll go with the Chiefs to cover. And remember last year the Chiefs had a problem covering games. They kept it to one score games. They kept it close. So the thing here though I can't get over is I on a neutral site, many miles away, thousands of miles away. Like I just go with the veteran team, the team that's played a bunch of games here or big time games. And I'm not saying the Chargers haven't played in big time games, but I just trust the Chiefs in this setting here, and especially after a beating in the Super Bowl where they got their butts whooped. They're probably itching to get out there and tell people we're not going anywhere. Where they're, I get you got Chiefs fatigue, but we're still here. We still have a very good team. We fix our offensive line. The Chargers offensive line is supposed to be a strength, and they lost Rashawn Slater. I do think Joe Alt going to left tackle is going to be a kind of a blessing in disguise. That's his better position. He might be a better left tackle overall than Rashawn Slater, but they paid the guy. Uh, but that's a different topic right there. I just, to me, in a neutral site, months and months of waiting to get back on the field, Kansas City that is. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs to, and I'll take even the 3.5. I'll lay the 3.5 if that's what it is. I could definitely see the Chiefs winning maybe in a touchdown fashion. It's gonna be a close game, I think so. I do to say some good things about the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert's going to be better than last year, and I think a lot of people give Justin Herbert credit for his touchdown on the turnover ratio where he wasn't turning the ball over, and I'm like, he just played it too safe for me. I didn't like that Justin Herbert. I get you can't be the Justin Herbert of the Brandon Staley era where you're just slinging the rock all day and you're predictable. You're sitting in the pocket. You're a statue back there, but I need to see somewhere in the middle where he's throwing the ball and he's making his money and he's a $50 million quarterback. And Eric Williams said it the other day. He said it's time to put up or shut up. You got to step up, Justin Herbert. I think he has enough weapons. So if he comes out slinging and he's kind of like maybe the 2021 version of Justin Herbert, but better protection and a better running game, this could be a very good year for the Chargers. But Herbert, in a way, is a little bit of a mystery. He's also dating Madison Beer, so I don't know what kind of Herbert to expect, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of question marks, especially after that performance against the Texans, and he's another guy that kind of falls under the Lamar Jackson kind of, where he's had some of his worst games in the playoffs, and which is crazy because everybody always remembers that Week 18 game against the Raiders where he put the Chargers in his shoulders and carried them, and of course we know what happened there at the end, but you know, I look at this game, Gilbert, and I feel like the Chargers, having to travel to Brazil, I think they're the ones that are. they're the home team, and yet they're the underdogs here. Now, ESPN bet has them at 3.5. Everybody else, the line got betted down to 3, as you said. If you can find it at 3.5, give me the Chargers here to
Yeah.
cover. I like that field goal. If that's that half point, I like it. I feel like the Chargers are going to keep it close, but I was telling Fernando yesterday after you left the show and we were doing our awards that I feel like we might get Redcon Patrick Mahomes this season, where he's just gonna go off, Gilbert. I
Yeah.
feel like the last 3 years it's been about winning the Super Bowl, like getting to that three-peat. And I feel like Andy Reid's finally gonna, say, you know what, it's time for Mahomes to unleash Mahomes and let him be himself, and let him be more aggressive. And I feel like that this might be the year for Mahomes. um, my only thing here, Gilbert, is the fact that they lose Rasheed Rice for 6 games. And I
Yeah.
think, had he not been suspended, I liked it even more for that reason. But I like their weapons. I like Josh Simmons playing left tackle. I feel like they fixed their offensive line, and so you could see an MVP season from Patrick Mahomes. But I still like, in this game, Gilbert, I like the Chargers to cover here, and cover that 3.5 if that's the number you find.
What about straight up?
As as in the over under, or are you talking
No,
about
like
the money line?
outright
No,
winner.
I don't. I think the Chiefs win this game,
Okay.
but I feel like the Chargers
Or
keep
just
it
cover.
close. We we
Okay.
we saw last year these were close games. I
Yeah.
think the Chiefs beat them by 1 or 2 points, or the opener against the Ravens by 1 or 2 points. So
Yeah.
I could see the Chargers keeping it close.
Yeah, just one final point, just to agree with you on the Patrick Mahomes thing. If Rasheed Rice wasn't suspended for 6 games, say it was two, I would have predicted Patrick Mahomes MVP season. I think Rasheed Rice makes that much of a difference to the passing attack, and like Rasheed Rice being a target closer to the line of scrimmage, it takes away so much focus from Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. Like those guys can't get open without Rasheed Rice on the field, so it's gonna be kind of a slow pace, make as many points as you can. KC offense until Rasheed Rice comes back, but they've done it before. They made it to the Super Bowl without Rasheed Rice last year. So, but yeah, in terms of him being back and going to Redcon, I think when Rasheed Rice comes back, we'll see that. I'm with you, Vic.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what the betting odds are on him winning the MVP, but if you have a good some good odds there, I'd go put some money on Patrick Mahomes as the MVP this season. All right, our next game, Gilbert, is our second tier game to watch is Lions Packers. The Packers are 1.5 point favorites. The over under is 48.5.
Yeah, this is a very intriguing game because of Michael Parsons trade, and you know you just don't know what to expect for the Packers. And I'll get to the point here, and it's no secret. I like the Lions. They're my Super Bowl pick. Check out my predictions at si.com. Check out my predictions or all our predictions on that the Carne Asada episode on Compas on the Beat. And I went Lions over Ravens. And one thing about the Lions is like a lot of people were counting them out because they lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And I'm like, I have trust in Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's the one that picked Ben Johnson. He fired Anthony Lynn, and then he figured out, you know what, Johnson could do it. Brad Holmes making all the picks. He's still around. They still have a very loaded roster. And, you know, in terms of this game, Michael Parsons, who I think the bad back is a little overblown. It was more of a contract negotiations tactic. I think he's
Yeah.
fine, but conditioning wise, how fine is he? And if you're trying to get in shape against one of the best O lines in the NFL, good luck, Michael Parsons. And then, I think Michael Parsons can apply pressure, like maybe getting off his couch or getting off the medical table and eating nachos and stuff like that, and rush the passer. But can you stop the run? He wasn't that good at it. The thing about Michael Parsons, I shouldn't say that good at it. He didn't make an emphasis to stop the run. He wanted to, chase the quarterback, and I get it. Padding the stats got him paid. But now you get a deal with Jameer Gibbs and Dave Montgomery and a very good O line for your first game to learn how to play with your teammates, to learn how to play in Jeff Halfley's scheme. So Who knows? Maybe I could be wrong about the Lions in the long term, but for this game, give me the chemistry. Give me the guys who are familiar with each other. I get it. It's a new OC. I was reading that the OC used to be the OC for Todd Bowles and with the Jets, and it didn't go well. But that was like,
Johnny Morton.
yeah, John Morton didn't go well, but maybe he's learned from that. He's worked with Dan Campbell before. He was on the Lions staff a couple years ago. Came back from the Sean Payton coaching tree. He was in Denver, so I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's learned from the Todd Bowles days, and we'll see what they do. And then defensively, another young coordinator. I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Shepard, who has been with Dan Campbell for a bit. He was working with
Yep.
Aaron Glenn for the last 4 years, so I'm gonna trust the coordinators, and I say the Lions win this game here on the road, pull off the upset, and obviously, straight up they'll cover the spread.
I'm sure the Lions are happy that this game isn't in later on in the season, because
Yeah.
we used to hear about teams that the dome teams having to worry about playing in cold weather games, and how terrible they've been. But I think the fact that this game is early, I mean early in the season, it won't be the frozen tundra down in Green Bay in September. So I think that's part of the reason why this game is at 1.5. But I like the Packers here. I've liked them even before the Micah Parsons trade. I just feel like they're one of those teams that is going to take the next step. I wish I can tell you that, hey, the Micah Parsons stuff, like I get it. If you look at those playoff games, part of the reason why he struggled with the run is because and he was, like you said, he doesn't have great status because they were trailing. The games were blowouts usually for the Cowboys in those games. So I'm not gonna make excuses for Micah Parsons. Part of the reason too that he's got traded was because like a lot of people didn't jive with him. The fact that he had a podcast and they wanted him to work on some things there. So I totally understand it, but you trade for a guy who's been he's finished in the top 3, I think, each of the seasons he's been in the NFL, and a decent defensive player of the year. That counts for something. And I kind of see it, Gilbert, and I understand the criticism against him, but I kind of see it as a like being a DH in baseball, where look, you can be Shohei Otani and still win the MVP. And yeah, like it helps to be a pitcher, but with him, it's like, look, he rushes the passer. That's his number one thing. And like for some DHs, all they can do is hit. They're not great on defense. So hey, like the other thing too that I feel like is a bit of a criticism for him is, like, we don't say the same thing about like other players on offense. Like, oh, you can run routes the same way as someone else. Like I just feel like for pass rushers, that's the big thing. But hey, like we like the fact that you have TJ Watt and Max Crosby and Miles Garrett who are good against the run. So I totally
Yeah,
get the criticism, Gilbert.
and going off of that, Vic, like this is not to say that Michael Parsons can't stop the run. Like in terms of guys that we always say, oh, it could be a dual threat, pass rusher, inside linebacker. Not many guys could do it. Michael Parsons could do it. He did it early in his career with Dan Quinn. It's just like when it got closer to time to talk about the contract, he was smart. He said, well, let me just be a full time edge rusher because those guys get paid more. And I think he
Yep.
focused on that a little too much. But I remember when he entered the league as an inside linebacker, and
Yep.
he needed to help out on the edge because the guys got hurt. They played the Chargers. I remember I was at that game. They were playing the Chargers at SoFi, and Mike McCarthy said, "Screw it, we're banged up. Micah, can you just be on the edge and go rush the passer?" And he put pressure, and then the rest is history. But he was getting Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter was getting comparisons to Micah because Abdul's the same way. He could play, the true linebacker position and also play on the edge. And uh, I just think it's not enough time for Micah to do that everything with a new scheme and a new coordinator. But I feel like over time, now that he has his money and he doesn't care about padding the stats, and he could be a weapon all over the place for Jeff Halfley, then that's when you're cooking there with Micah Parsons. But I think for week 1, it's a tough ask to do everything right away. Just so go ahead and just do what you do naturally and the rush the passer, right?
Yep. I mean, if you've done it before, now you got paid. Go ahead and do it. And if you have the respect of your coach, I don't see why he can't do that. But you say you have the Lions. I'll go with the Packers here, Gilbert. All right, let's finish up strong here. Our betting locks of the week for week 1. These are the bets from yourself here, Gilbert, and myself. Um, we have a new entry now, Gilbert, into the betting lock game. We have a super dog contest where at least it has to be at least a 4.5 point dog. Um, so why don't you kick us off and then explain what we do here with our top five best bets of the week, plus now the super dog contest, which also, if you get it right, you'll explain what happens here as well, Gilbert.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like two competitions with our betting picks here, and we'll keep track of it. And one of them, Victor can maybe explain a little more. That's the one that he brought, and the new one that we're going to start off with is I stole it from College Game Day. I'm going to be honest. I don't really watch a lot of college football, Vic,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to watch Arch Manny and that super hyped up Ohio State Texas game, and I was watching the pregame, and they're asking all the guys, "Hey, give us your super dog, somebody that is taking 4.5 points or more." And here's a point scale. So we're going to do the same thing. If your dog covers the spread, you get 5 points. If your dog obviously covers the spread and wins outright on the money line, that's another 5 points. So like you could be 10 points right there. And then a point for a push. So say your dog, got a push on the spread, you get 1 point. So we're gonna go for that scale right there. And for mine, just to share, I'm gonna go with the Browns. F it, 5.5 points at home, divisional rival, and those Bengals, man. I've been calling them overrated, and they always start slow. I can see the Bengals winning, but I could see the Bengals screwing up survivor pools. People got screwed over last year with the Bengals when they picked them against
I'm
the
staying away
Patriots.
this year, Gilbert.
Yeah, yeah. So, from what I heard from the odds makers in Vegas, people have not learned their lessons. So screw it. The public's on the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Browns. I'm not saying they're gonna win. I'll take the 5.5 points. I'll go with Miles Garrett, wrecking that offensive line that is not getting a lot of attention because the defense is that bad. So give me Miles Garrett to give me a chance here. And then Joe Flacco to sling it. He's old, but he's getting a week one uh, Bengals defense that barely got Trey Hendrickson. So maybe they'll make it competitive. I was like, hear the cat screaming here. He's probably
Yeah,
really
I'm sure
hungry.
he's hungry. I know.
It's almost that time.
Yeah,
But yes, give me you heard me talking about them.
yeah.
Give me the Browns to cover. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but F it, give me the Browns 5.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants +6 here. I feel like anytime you get a division game, you know you can surprise, and I like what I've seen from the Giants. They look like one of those teams that could be a surprise team. I know they're in a tough division, and I kind of want to see what happens with the Commanders, but this is a good matchup for the Giants to start off against. I feel like this could be. I think the Commanders could be on upset alert here. So
Yeah.
give me the Giants. You're giving me 6 points. Boom. Give me that, Gilbert.
That was my second choice, Vic, and I had a feeling you might go with that one. The only thing that stopped me there, because like again, you get more points if you get an actual win. Browns are at home and the Giants are on the road, so that one's a little tough for me to go all in. But I like it. I could definitely see you get more points too, and I could definitely see a cover from that defense against Jaden Daniels. So I like that pick.
Yeah, and like you went with the divisional game. I went with the divisional game. All right, Gilbert, your week one best bets. The way we do it is we do a point system. You do from highest to lowest. If you hit on your highest ones, and then you go down. The more you hit, the better it is. We tally the count at the end of the season. I've been Gilbert the last 2 years. Last year he got up to a big lead, and then I was able to catch him at the end there and then pass him. So you're number 5 this week, Gilbert, to start off the NFL season.
Yeah, I'll be quick here, but this time of year, it's my time of year is where the dogs hit. So I'm gonna go all plus points here for all five. So why not? Give me the Seahawks +2.5 versus 49ers. And I five is strong for this one, but I've been talking crap about the 49ers for the last week. So I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. So let's go Seahawks to cover here and show everybody that the 49ers are not
They're
that
they're
good.
at home, right?
Yeah, Seahawks are at home and they're getting the
Yeah,
points.
I'm surprised by
They
that
are
line. I'm
they're
Yeah.
so overrated. A lot of people are really like the win total for them is too high. People are putting Super Bowl bets on the 49ers. I don't get it. I'd rather go with the Seahawks and I know the Seahawks are have their concerns for me too, but at home, I'm taking them.
All right, next one, number 4.
Yeah, this one I feel a little better about. Uh, I know the Dolphins are gonna be bad, and I know the Colts are gonna be bad, but I think the Colts are gonna be worse. And when you have your owner who passed away, and you have the daughters taking over, kind of with an eye of like, who should I keep around? That's not good for anybody. That's a lot of pressure, and it usually leads to the negative side here. So I'm gonna lean on the continuity of the Dolphins. Tua is still there. Tyreek is still there for now. Jalen Waddle, Chan. You got Mike McDaniel in his third year. These guys are in the hot seat, but they know each other, and I think they can light up this Colts defense.
All right, number three.
Give me this is a sharp play here. I feel like a lot of the sharp money is going on the Jets +3. Again, another home team taking points. So Justin Fields could maybe cause problems for the Steelers defense, a little older. I can't wait to see what Aaron Rodgers provides, but Aaron Rodgers will not provide mobility. Justin Fields does. So give me the 3 points on the Jets here for number three.
Number two.
Yeah, I really wanted to go higher for this one. Falcons +2.5. Also, another home team taking points. That's kind of my trend here. Home team taking points versus the Buccaneers. I just have a lot of respect to the Buccaneers, where I think the Bucks are a better team, but I think the Falcons are on the rise. I think Vic, you are definitely high on them. I just can't get behind Michael Penix Jr. right now. If he has a ball out game, a baller game in this week one, you're gonna see me betting on the Falcons a lot more. So for right now, I have a number two for the two spot here.
And then number one, the Panthers 3.5.
Yeah, my beloved Panthers. Where I'm expecting a lot from them. I don't expect a lot from the Jaguars. This is a road team taking points, so I don't feel as strongly. But I think the Panthers added more than the Jaguars, so give me them too. And that's a lot of points, 3.5 too, for teams that might be on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually like a sneaky nice matchup here. It's not a sexy one, but it's one that you kind of want to, go and check out with all the with all the changes, and maybe you get a really good game. All right, Gilbert, I'm gonna be quick with mine here. Uh, we talked about this matchup. I went plus the +3 for Chargers, +3 against the Chiefs. I feel like they can cover it here, even though I like the Chiefs to win but I like the Chargers to actually cover here. Um, my number four is the Cowboys and Eagles over 47.5. I feel like this is
Ah,
just going to be a one of those games where the totals are going to be ridiculous. It's either going to be a huge blowout. It's going to be somewhere where it's 40-20 or something like that. So the over is going to hit here. I and we'll see. I don't have any confidence in that Cowboys defense without Micah Parsons. Who know if some of those defensive players are going to play. We'll see. We'll see. Trayvon Diggs. I don't know if he's ready to go. Deron Bland. He just got a big fat contract extension. We'll see what happens there. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this one.
yeah, just quickly, I just don't like the line. Obviously, the Eagles are going to win, I feel like, but I can't take 8.5 points for a divisional matchup week one where you don't know what's going to happen. So
Yeah,
for me, I would stay away from this game. I think a lot of people don't view it that way, but that is just too high of a number, 8.5. I think I'm seeing here. So,
that's why I went
uh,
with the
I,
over. I can
yeah, so that's the best way to approach it. It could definitely be a blowout, but I could also see a close game where the Eagles pull it out. But I'm not touching this game for the spread.
Yeah, and like this is when you start taking. I'm gonna take some dogs here too. I'm with you. So that's why I went my number three. I have the Raiders at 2.5. The Patriots just completely changed their whole offensive line. I know Josh McDaniels is there, and so we'll see if there's a revenge factor. But at the same time, I just feel like the Raiders can keep it close. What's his name? Um, I just had his name in the corner. Gonzalez might not play for the Patriots. He
Yeah.
hasn't practiced all week, so we'll see. And I mean, you could have Brock Bowers just go off against that Patriots defense. It's been crazy. They released Jabril Peppers, and then I forgot their other safety's name right now. It's escaping my name, but he's like second or third on the depth chart. Duggar. eh,
Yeah,
Uh,
bigger.
yeah, so I don't know. They've completely changed that team, and so I have no faith in the Patriots. It might take them a little while to get going. I just feel like the Raiders and Pete Carroll can go in there and steal a close game there, or even keep it to where they lose by a point or two. My number two is the Packers, as we talked about, -2.5. I think it's 1.5. My bad. think I saw it at 2.5, but I'll change it to 1.5. I just like the Packers. That's why I don't have that much of a confidence. It's that early divisional game. And then my number one, Gilbert, is the Giants Commanders 45.5 over. I just feel like that game, those offenses might go off in this game, and it feels like an upset special for the Giants here. So I really I wanted to double up on this game, and so we'll see what the Giants can
Okay.
do it if they can pull off the upset, Gilbert.
Yeah, I do like the Patriots as another home team laying the point or taking the points, but I don't like them as much as the other ones. And like you mentioned, the Patriots have some issues defensively. I don't know if they're overrated to an extent. I like Mike Rabel and I like what they did defensively. But I also worry about the Raiders' offense. I'm buying that offense. I'm not buying so much of the defense. I think Drake May could light them up too as well. It could be a sneaky, high-scoring game. I will go with the Patriots and take the points because they're a home team taking points like that against a Raider team that's been whatever over the years. But that's one I'd rather stay away from a little bit because I like the other ones. Like what was it? I had the Falcons. I have um, I'm already blanking. What was the other one that I had?
You
Oh,
have the
the Jets,
Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Jets,
Seahawks.
the Falcons, and the Panthers.
Yeah, the Jets, Seahawks, and the Falcons are home teams taking points. I'd rather have those than the Patriots. So I could definitely see in your favor going that way, Vic. And just to give you guys a couple more quick hitters before we get out of here, I think for the most part we did a good job
Hmm.
with our bets here for getting to all of them. This might be surprising, Vic. The Cardinals and the Saints. The Cardinals are going to get supported a lot because they're playing the Saints. I just wouldn't
That's
touch.
who a lot of people are picking in their survivor pool,
Yeah,
Gilbert.
I just wouldn't touch the spread because again, another home team taking a lot of
Yeah.
points, and I could see the Cardinals winning for sure, but I could see the Saints keeping it close. So I know I've been backing them up all offseason, but it feels it's a little trap game vibes for a team that hasn't really proven itself just yet. I think it might take them a couple games to really kind of show what I've been predicting. And then remember the Saints were 2-0 last year and they fell apart. So
Yep.
don't be surprised if they make it close. I don't see them
That's
winning.
another one I'm staying away from.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm just saying I'm staying away from Cardinals win. I'll give you a shocker. Saints cover. And then one more that I don't think we really touched on. I don't feel good about it, and that's why we haven't touched on it, but we have to. It's a Monday Night Football game. I'll take the
Mhm.
Bears at home. Again, that's my theme. Bears at home taking points. Week 1 upsets. I'm taking the home team. That's the dog in a close 50-50 matchup. No Jordan Addison for JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy making his debut start in the regular season. Caleb Williams started all last year. I'll take the Bears here. For all the crap they're getting, this might be a spot for them.
Yeah, and I mean going up against that defense, yeah, that is yeah. I was kind of surprised by that Monday night game, and I was like, wow, that's a Monday night game. I'm like, okay, but I'm with you. That's something to look forward to, Gilbert. But I think that's gonna be my biggest takeaway from this episode, Gilbert, is your bets in terms of, hey, if you're gonna bet on this week one, bet the dogs at home. Like
Yeah.
the home teams that are dogs, bet on those. This is the time where you take advantage of not knowing a lot, because in the next couple of weeks, once Vegas and the rest of the betting community catches up, it's going to be hard to win some money here. So but shout out to you for that. That's my biggest takeaway from our first episode here of
Yeah,
game
that's
week
why
with the
you're on here,
Compas.
Vic. Yeah, to get two point of views here, and obviously, I think what you're good at, Vic, is as the season goes on, you're starting to see the difference in terms of the favorites, and I'm always hesitant. I don't know, man. Like even right now, me talking about the Cowboys, like the Cowboys they might cover. Like don't trust the Eagles, and sometimes it's a blowout, and I just can't see it. So that's your good thing, Vic. But at least I got you to be on my side for the early first month of the season to be on the dogs, and I think that we're kind of in agreement here. But as the season progresses, you will start seeing the favorites, and you see it much quicker than I do. But hey, maybe I get you this year, and I like this competition that way. Both two competitions to kind of keep us in line here. But yeah, that was a show here. It's a pilot. We'll see how it goes. Again, it's more audio. We're still here on YouTube. I'm still trying out the new fancy camera where I don't even know where to look. But trying to do a little bit of everything here and have more of a laid back show where you could, listen to in rush hour and and think about the games for the weekend because A lot of times it's like, you focus on your fantasy team, you focus on your favorite team, the injury report, and it's like, what's going on in the rest of the league? So, check out Game Week with the Compas, and hopefully during the season we can have Fernando on. I know Dan and Diego's very busy. Maybe we could have him on every once in a while. And that the good thing about having Compas on the beat the last few years, we have like real Compas who like to jump and talk with us, like Eric and Tyler and Adam and Joe. So hopefully we can have some of these guys join us to break down some of these games. But this is the first one, and I thought it was a good one. Good pace here, 40 minutes. I love it.
All right, we're ready to go, Gilbert. So go ahead and close us out for the first episode of Game Week with the Compas.
Yeah, if don't be shy. I know we're not live, but let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with some of our picks. And yeah, every Thursday we'll drop it and on audio and also on YouTube. So check it out. But time to get going. On that note, ya nos vamos. Pues.